Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another Access 72 video, and in today's video I'm back with another interview, and I'm here with Roha Hudson. Roha, how are we?
Hello, yeah, I'm really good, thank you. So excited to be here.
Great, thank you very much for having you on, for coming on I suppose, yeah.
It's okay.
Okay, and so am I right in saying you're a professional boxer who's just turning over now?
Just turning over, yep, still sorting all the paperwork out, but should be done pretty soon, I hope.
Great, okay, so if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so, like the video if you do need like the video, and let's get straight into it. So, I'm going to start off with the question which you always like to start off with. Why did you start boxing?
Oh my God, crazy. So, I was actually a footballer. I used to be a big footballer and runner. I used to run for the Black Country, and my last football match, I actually represented England against Australia as a kid. So it was like a big football thing. And then I'd lived around a lot as a child. I moved everywhere, literally in like 29 houses by the age of 16. So my last move was to Shropshire. And I don't know if you know Shropshire, but it's a very rural town. It's tiny. There's not a lot here. So there wasn't a lot of football teams at all. I represented Shrewsbury, but I just wasn't the same as Wolverhampton. So I walked into a boxing gym when I was 14. And that was it. I never looked back, ever.
Okay, great story. And so, do you remember what happened in your first amateur fight?
Yeah. So I was new to I was at Wellington Boxing Academy. I just had a child. He was 1. And I walked into the gym. I didn't expect to fight. I initially did it for fitness, to lose, weight, as it is. And then I was training up. Got told I'd be fighting, asked if I wanted to fight the amateur fight. I was so nervous, so nervous. But me and my coach, I've got a really good relationship with my coach, Fiaz. And I knew I wouldn't, it's so weird and it sounds awful, but I knew I wouldn't lose because he was there in my corner. I was so nervous, but I was so excited. And then, I come away with a unanimous win. That was probably the best I've ever boxed in any match, actually, even to this day.
Wow, okay. Well, yeah, no, just to kind of speak about the fact of your relationship with your coach, how important is it to have that strong relationship with your coach?
So important. You're working with them every day. It's like, I'm with my coach 50% of the time. We eat together, we travel together, train together. Obviously I have to put all my trust in him to get me as far as he can, to know that he's doing the best, having my interests at heart. So it's so important that we have that that bond, and that trust, which we do, which is very key.
Yes, that's very good to hear. And so what would you say was your biggest achievement from the amateurs?
So I won the national development championships. That was crazy, because that was my first fight back from I felt really poorly. I was in and out of hospital for a while. And that was my first fight back, and it was an opportunity we didn't want to miss. My coaches said, take it. So we took the fight, we did it. I'm so glad I did, because I will never forget that win, ever.
That's great. And so how many amateur fights did you end up racking up?
I only had 8 in the end. It would have been 9, which would have been 5 weeks ago, my last amateur. But the girl, unfortunately, there was transport travel, so I didn't end up having it. But yeah, I only had 8 because I started off fighting at 74 kg, so I fought for quite a few fights. I had about 6 fights, and then we went into lockdown. And then during the lockdown, I got COVID and pneumonia. So then I had 3 years out altogether. So when I come back, it was so hard to match me because I'd gone up to heavyweight at this point. I think it was just so hard to get any fights. And I just kept going poorly, in and out of hospital. And that's when I got better, that was when we were like, right, let's go professional. Let's sort it now.
Okay, it's very interesting, and it is completely understandable. I mean, of course, the female kind of sport of boxing in general is growing, but of course there is still, of course, I'd imagine in the amateurs there's not a crazy amount of options still.
No, not at all. Even in the pro ranks, I don't think there's a crazy amount of women. The sparring, I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's in the amateurs, couldn't find any sparring at all.
Wow.
Nothing. It was really hard. There was a girl down in Leicester, and a couple in London. But being down all the way down in Shropshire, the travel, sometimes it just got, and then you end up fighting them. And it's how many times can you spar the same person?
Yeah, of course. And so now you're turning over, and am I right in saying you're now going to be working with top promotions or top boxing promotions? And so how excited are you to be starting with them?
So excited. Yeah, really excited. Initially, we were looking around because we did have a few different offers from a few different promotion companies. But John Pegg is very close to home. He works with a couple of the boxers down at our gym. He's very close with my coach. So I think he was always going to be the person we went for. And I'm so glad I did. It's only been a week. And the calls we've had and the offers we've had is just, I never thought it would, happen so quickly. So yeah, it's definitely switched my training up a notch.
Okay, that's great to hear. And so you're going into professional ranks now, and so what would you say is your main motivation? It sounds so cliche, but I'm a parent. I'm a mother to a 5-year-old.
So of course he's going to be my biggest motivation. I mean, I want to be able to put my mark on the world. And everyone can say, oh, they don't care about the money. I do. I care about the money. I care about being known, and I care about my son being able to say, yeah, that's my mum. So that is definitely, just to live a comfortable life. Comfortable life. That's the most important. That's what I strive for, I suppose.
Of course. And do you have a possible date of when you might be making your debut yet?
I don't yet. I'm hoping it won't be over a few months. I'd like to fight pretty soon. I know my coach wants me to get a couple of months solid training in, because obviously it is a completely different ball game. We've got a couple of sparring sessions coming up, hopefully. I know there's been talks about going to Dubai, hopefully, to get some sparring in. So I'll probably sort that side out first, get some sparring in, get a bit of experience, because I've only had, like we said, 8 fights. I'm very inexperienced compared to the other girls. So we'll sort that side out first. But I'm ready to go whenever they give me a date.
Great. And so I suppose when you are up and fighting and you've had your debut, are you wanting to then be quite active after that? Because of course, I mean, you could probably get maybe like 5-6 fights, and then maybe you're fighting for titles then. So are you aiming to be quite active?
Yeah, I've said to John, whoever, put me in with anyone. I'm so ready. I had to wait so much between fights in the amateurs. It's a passion. It's not just about, as I said before, making money or getting fame or anything like that. It's my passion. I enjoy doing it. I'd go in with anyone. I'd go in anytime. Yeah, I want to be as active as possible.
Okay, and so yes, and so for anybody who's maybe not watched you fight before, what would you say makes yourself interesting as a fighter?
So I would say, well, what my coaches tell me, I'm a very backwards fighter, as they say. So obviously I do attack, I go forward, but I'm very, I'd say my skill that I've mastered over the years is punching on the way back. So even when they're attacking me, I'm quite good with the footwork on the way back, which hopefully I'll be able to show in my first few fights, which can be hard for the opponent. They're trying to get into you and missing their shots. It can take their energy out. See how they cope with it in the pro ranks. I'm sure they're more experienced.
Of course, but that sounds like a difficult style to be good at, and so fair play to you to be able to do that. And just for, I suppose, just your ambitions in the sport, how far do you believe you can go?
I don't think there's a limit. I really don't. My mindset, I'm ready to. I would take on anyone. I'd go. It's my passion. It's not just work. I enjoy it. I love it. I train 3 times a day, and if I could, I'd train all day, every day. I don't. Today was meant to be a rest day. I'm still up at 5 a.m. going for a run. I'm so tunnel vision on the sport. I want to go all the way to the top. I don't see why I can't either. So yeah, all the way. Yeah, world champ in the making.
Indeed, good to hear. And so just for the kind of current state of female boxing, I mean, it's going leaps and bounds as of recent, definitely. And so what's your thoughts on the development recently of women's boxing?
I mean, there's a few names taking it bigger, which is great. You've got Kate Taylor, who was always cool, Savannah Marshall. They're always going to be women that we look up to as we go into the pro ranks. It's getting bigger. It's getting bigger, and that's all we can hope for. It's not a lot I can say now. I'm glad. I'm hoping. I mean, it's a bit hard at the minute. I find as money's being pumped into the sport for the females, it can be getting changed a little bit. You've got it's a lot about the face at the minute rather than the boxing with a lot of it, which sometimes I disagree with, but it's still making the females more noticed, which is always a positive.
Okay, yeah, no, that's an interesting way of looking at it, and of course it is true. And so just for a final question, you've got a little bit of a platform here. Would you like to shout anything out?
Yeah, I would. Sponsorship. Yeah. I am looking for all new sponsorships as I go into the pro ranks. I'm like I said before, I'm looking at going to Dubai. We've got a few big names that we're meant to be sparring coming up. Like I said before, I believe I can go far in this sport. I've got really good coaches behind me, really good manager behind me. So I'm definitely one to look out for, I hope. Also, just want to say thank you to all my coaches, all the support, always going to appreciate it, coming from the amateurs, the people that brought tickets and stuff. No one had to do that. That was pure out of love and support, and I'll never forget that as far as I do go.
Okay, nice one. Thank you very much for doing this. Maybe a little bit further along down the line we can come back and have you back on.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be great. But yeah, really appreciate you asking me on.
Great. And so if you're new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you need like the video, and thanks for watching.